This is an interesting spread already. Every card except the last three has come up in reverse. So we have a lot of energy to transmute. There has been some very interesting energy lately. All of the solar flares and the astral activity that has been going on has definitely been influencing Earth in the sense of chaos that people have been experiencing. And I've been observing it in my own life and working to keep myself centered and hearing from other people the observation of that chaos in their own lives. And it truly is up to us at all times to be able to have that sense of detachment and allow ourselves to zoom out and to see things from a higher perspective, knowing that today's circumstances, and these are timeless readings, so whenever you're coming upon this reading, this is the right time for you to be hearing this information. And these energies are able to be transmuted so that we can move into that future self and start to live in our most desired reality, regardless of whether or not the 3D is showing it. And I know you can hear my radiator in the background. It's punctuating this reading while also keeping me warm. So apologies for the noise disturbance. So let's get into the reading. I read mind, body, and soul lines, past, present, and future. We have a significator card and a good luck card. I also draw the runes to deepen and further clarify the story that is being told here so that we all can transmute and shift our energies and move forward. In the past position of the mind line, we have the Chariot in reverse. That hesitancy to take responsibility for one's life, to have an awareness of the subconscious patterns that we've been running and the stories that we've been telling ourselves and the way that they affect our day-to-day existence and the way that those old patterns and old stories don't actually work to generate our most desired reality and our most abundant future. They recreate the past. So in order to move on from the past, and with it in reverse, there is this sense that this is an older energy. This is something that we are letting go of. And when we say older energy, the past could be 2 minutes ago. It could be 2 hours ago, 2 days ago, 2 years ago, 2 decades, 2 lifetimes ago. It doesn't really matter. Time is a construct. And so all realities actually exist simultaneously. It's where we place our awareness that allows us to create our experience. So we are ultimately responsible. And so if we transmute that energy and we accept that full responsibility for the story that we're creating and the life that we're creating, then we can start to shift it, and then we can start to hone our vision and clarify our vision and learn to move our energy forward in a way that generates that vision. We have the Queen of Stones coming up in the reverse in the alignment line. The Queen of Stones reminds us to surrender to the great mystery. With her coming up in reverse, showing that falling back into old patterns rather than aligning with trust and aligning with the vision. Because if all realities exist simultaneously, that means that your most desired reality, that future life, already exists. And so in order to manifest it three-dimensionally faster, the best way to do that is to live in the energy of the end. We don't get what we want by doing more. We get what we want by being more. From the inside. Everything is created from within. So we cannot change the three-dimensional world without first changing the inner world. Trusting in the I am and who we are, and allowing ourselves to understand that yes, we've had lifetimes perhaps of struggles and challenges and patterns and traumas. Trauma gets passed down through families. We've inherited ideas and belief systems that don't actually belong to the infinite quality of our being and to Source. Source and nature are infinitely abundant. It is a paradigm that is conditioned into us to believe that we are limited and to believe that there are people or structures in this world that have more dominion over our lives than Source. And then when we transmute that energy, we can choose to align with Source and to trust Source to help us bring our vision into reality from a grounded place, from a balanced ego, from a place of harmony. Because we understand that the conscious mind makes up roughly 10% of our experience. The conscious mind is what desires, is what wants to bring more into fruition. But here's the thing, the subconscious mind is actually running the show. Until you get clear and conscious about the patterns and about the stories that you're repeating, about the emotional quality of life. We have the moon in the future position in the reverse, that emotional experience. Emotions are always going to be part of our experience, but if we are pulled under by them, if we are moved out of alignment by them, then they are not serving our experiences. Emphasis from the traffic outside. Emotions are there to help us process information. But we can do that from a place of forgiveness and acceptance and trust. There's no such thing as a bad emotion. They all serve us. Fear shows us where we need to gain strength. That sense of lack shows us where we need to allow ourselves to experience more abundance. We can transmute any emotion to serve our greater good. And by serving our greater good, we then serve the greater good of humanity. Because as we allow ourselves the fullness of the experience, we show other people what is possible. So let's transmute that energy and move into the body line. In the past position, we have the Four of Swords coming up in reverse. That hesitancy to accept the balance, to orient yourself to the balance, to allow yourself the full experience, the seasonal quality of life. We can easily transmute that energy by zooming out, by allowing that mental harmony, that mental clarity. Yes, there is always going to be duality. But if we are clear on where we stand and the vision that we are wanting to bring into the world, then we can more quickly move through these challenges. Because if we go to the end and if we live in that place of I am, in that space of being, then all of the little things that happen along the way don't actually matter. And so we start to call our power back because the present moment is the only one that matters. We have Nine of Wands, power, in the reverse position of the alignment line. We choose to be empowered. And so when we transmute that energy, we flip those wands up. That energy gets to expand and it gets to grow. We're no longer allowing the outside circumstances to dictate how we feel on the inside, because that only slows our progress. That slows our growth. That sends us back into the old story. That sends us back into that place of fear, that place of lack. And it is again emphasized in the future position of the body line, the Eight of Wands in the reverse position. Again, showing that hesitancy, showing that suppressive quality of energy, clamping down, trying to control things, instead of allowing our energy to expand through trust. Our thoughts are the seeds. The words that we speak are the seeds that we're planting to grow our vision. And so when a farmer or a gardener plants the seeds, they plant the seeds and they trust that they're going to grow into the harvest. They water the seeds, you weed your garden, you mulch, you take care of it, you provide nurturing for the garden. You nurture the vision, but you don't continuously pull up the plant to check on its progress. You don't dig up the seed to see if it's growing. You trust and you surrender. So we transmute that energy of the Eight of Wands and allow ourselves to have the vision. Allow ourselves to have that great life. What happens is the subconscious mind steps in to say, that is dangerous. Abundance is dangerous. Having more is dangerous, because then you might lose, because then you might get hurt, because then you might have to deal with more responsibility. You might have to deal with more challenges. Instead of trusting that as the challenges come, we will be able to work through them, because we are always growing and learning and surrendering, and that we are actually Source. And so if we just get out of our own way and we allow Source to move through us in the spirit line, we have the Princess of Wands in the reverse. Give yourself the feelings and the emotional quality of your most desired reality now. Experience it in now. Allow yourself to run those emotions of abundance, of gratitude, of joy, of love through your body right now. Feel how good it can get. Allow yourself to have more. Allow yourself that gratitude for everything that you have. And that is how you start to move that energy towards that greater vision in a way that allows you to enjoy the journey. Working more and struggling more does not get you what you want. The universe doesn't care how hard you work. The universe doesn't care if you're a good or a bad person. It cares if you're certain. It cares, and of course, it is in the best interest of humanity to have the highest good of all in our positive intention. But we're not going to get what we want by trying to be a good person, because trying to be a good person means that we are living with a conditional quality to our lives. Just be a good person. Be intentional. Be gracious. Be grateful. Be abundant. Be discerning about what actually needs to exist in your reality and what doesn't. Whether that's energy or material items or people or places or circumstances. What serves your greater vision? And then stay aligned to that. We have the sun in the alignment line of the spirit. Staying aligned to that vision, understanding that there are always going to be challenges. Duality has to exist. It is a spiritual law of the universe. And so when we accept that, we're able to live with that duality. We're able to harmonize in the middle and stay aligned to the vision, to resonate with that quality of life that we will have when we have all of our desires. Because by having, you signal to the universe that you are not wanting. Wanting is chasing. Wanting is signaling to the universe that you don't have it. And the universe just takes that as that's what you want. You want to be in that place of wanting, so it gives you more circumstances that show that sense of wanting, that sense of I don't have it yet, that sense of lack, that sense of scarcity. Give yourself the wholeness. Move from that place, and then you cannot help but have what you want. It's the law of reciprocity. It's the law of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. Alignment, mind, body, and soul is what gives you that sense of victory. We have the Six of Wands in the future position of the spirit line, aligning with that vision in the upright position. And the way that we do that is through discipline. The Emperor in the significator position of you. Learning how to hold that foundation. Learning how to hold that boundary around your energy, so that you are always working towards what you want. So that you are always moving towards what you want, generating what you want. From a place of love and from a place of that nurturing quality of that divine that moves with their heart, that allows life to move through their heart, that moves from a place of trust. We have the Five of Cups in the good luck card of the day. that focusing on the qualities of life that we want to see. Again, moving through any sense of disappointment as an observation of a need for more balance. Where can we generate that quality of balance and love and harmony? Focusing on the reality that we wish to see rather than the reality that we don't wish to see. Focus on what you want to bring into being with clarity. Be super clear on what you actually want to experience. That way you know what you don't want to experience. So let's get into the runes, see how they deepen the story. So right away we have you, the past, the future, the basis of the reading, the challenge, and the best outcome. In the position of you in this reading, we have Fehu. Fehu deals with creating that foundation that allows us to have a material experience, to hold more, to experience more. It deals with possessions. And I'm going to read a little bit out of the book because I want to give you the deepest explanation. Ambition satisfied, rewards received, love fulfilled. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the sacred and the divine. That alignment, mind, body, and soul. The soul has the highest frequency, then comes the mind, and then comes the body. The physical reality has the lowest vibration. And it is our spiritual quality of life that gives us that expansive, beautiful, glorious, source-filled, sourced experience. This rune calls for a deep probing into the meaning of profit and gain in your life. Look with care to know whether it is wealth and possessions you require for your well-being, or rather a sense of self-rule and the growth of the will. The will in the Chariot, the will in the Emperor, the emotional quality of life. What do you actually want to be experiencing? What would your life look and feel like, smell like, taste like in that most abundant reality? And then tapping into that energy and feeling it now. The book is by Richard Blum, by the way, and I think that his interpretations of the runes are so beautiful. And I'm still learning them, so it's a fun exploration. We have Urus in the past position, strength, manhood, womanhood, a wild ox. Again, that balance of the masculine and the feminine, the endings and the beginnings that come with everything. When you've started to outgrow your old life, you must allow those old selves to die. You must allow those old realities to die and collapse so that you can live in that most abundant reality. You can't have both. You can't have that sense of lack and the sense of abundance all at once. You can swing wildly back and forth between the two, but you cannot be in a state of fear and a state of love at the same time. You can be in a place of neutrality, and sometimes that's the easiest place to practice being before you shift into that place of love. But the more you're able to stay in that place of love, the more you're able to allow yourself to expand from a place of abundance and trust. Positive growth and change involve that passage into the shadowlands of ourselves. We must do the shadow work. We must reconcile with our inner child and show them how safe they are to have more. Because it is that inner child's need for safety that is keeping us in that self-sabotage pattern, those old stories. So we must do that inner healing. That is what allows us to move forward. And sometimes that means letting everything collapse. We have Hagalaz in the future position, allowing things to just combust, to disrupt, to break apart, to fall apart. That sacred collapse. Much like the energy of the tower, it allows us to let those old realities fall away so that we can rebuild on a solid foundation, so that we can create a intentional life rather than living through our subconscious. We have Nathis in the basis of the reading position in the reverse. It's the great teacher disguised as the bringer of pain and limitation. It has been said that only at the point of greatest darkness do we become aware of the light within us, by which we come to recognize the true creative power of the self. That is so beautiful. We are the creators of our reality. So learning to create consciously is this beautiful journey. And learning how to communicate with the universe. That is the challenge. In the challenge position, we have Rado. How do we communicate with the universe, and how do we communicate with ourselves, the people in our lives, the circumstances that come up in our lives? How do we communicate with the money we wish to call in? How do we communicate with our business, with our creativity, with our spark? How do we communicate with ourselves? How are we talking to ourselves? When you get really quiet and you get into that place of stillness, you allow yourself to hear your higher self. You allow yourself to hear source. Until that time, you are just hearing voices from the past. You're just hearing voices of your conditioning. The voice that says you're not good enough. The voice that says you're not ready. The voice that says mean things to you throughout the day. We must speak lovingly to ourselves. Forgive ourselves over and over and over again. Treat ourselves with that compassion and deep love that we would show a child, that we would show a friend. Speaking to yourself lovingly and with precision and intention and clarity. Claiming the life that you want. I am abundant. I am worthy. I am capable. I am strong. I am source. I am a channel for the divine, and I will allow the divine to flow through me. I will get out of my own way. I am whole within. When you are whole within, then you are moving from a place of fullness, from a place of overflow. You're not trying to get a need met. You're claiming that abundance, that love, that sense of connection, that sense of worthiness, that sense of having. With Berkana in the future position, looking in the book, growth, rebirth, the rune of life process, another of the cycle runes, Berkana denotes the form of fertility which promotes growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, one's relationship to oneself or to the divine. This is a leading rune, and it leads to the blossoming and to the ripening, going back to the sun. That is how we cultivate the most abundant reality. That is how we cultivate the life that we want to experience. By communicating with our higher selves. By communicating and allowing our future self to step in and lead us. By allowing source to go first. By trusting, by surrendering into your worth, into your divinity. We are made up of the same stuff as source. We are source. We are God. The God is always within. We have just been conditioned to believe that we have to chase, that we have to earn, that we have to prove our worth. None of that is true. Those are just old stories that keep people in a place of disempowerment, that keep people needing corporations or needing systems to keep them safe. No one is coming to save us. It is our job to save ourselves. It is our job to be the creator of our own lives. And so, my dears, as we come to the end of this reading, drop what stood out to you the most in the chat below. When you reinforce by writing or typing out a lesson or an insight, you double down on that belief. It's another form of contact with your brain, another form of rewiring that coding that is in your brain. You start to recode the blueprint of your life when you start to think differently. Thinking differently allows you to feel differently. It allows you to act differently. It allows you to be different. So drop below, what is the one insight that you're taking out into your vision, into your day, into your life? And let me know what has landed. That keeps me going, and that opens the lines of communication between us. And I'm working on getting a camera and getting things situated so that I can start to show you guys the visual aspect of these readings, and you can see the cards. I know that will enhance the experience. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for being here with me. And if you want to take this journey further and have more support, I have created an experience called the Art of Conscious Creation. And the link for it is below. You can go check it out and see if this is the right time for you to join us. We, as the collective, are always working towards consciously creating the lives that we wish to experience. And so with that, my dears, I thank you so much for being here. I thank you all for coming along with me on this journey as I explore this aspect, this other aspect of what I like to bring into the world. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Much love.